Jose Chille DeCastro's lawsuit spree continues. He hits Josh Abrams, Kate Peter, and Dale Lackluster Hiller with a suit based on a live stream from 3 years ago. Hiller is singled out for making a single line of negative commentary against DeCastro. Says super lawyer gave the suits a thumbs up. But is there trouble in lawsuit paradise? Lawsuit's primary date may be outside statute of limitations. Is it doomed before it starts? Plus, what happened to DeCastro's board game? No real updates on financing pitch, and production date pushed to September? What the what? It's all Chille all the time again for a very special look at his new lawsuit. I'm your humble newsreader, Pants. You're the meaning in my life. You're the inspiration. Let's drive to Chicago and relive the sounds of the 70s as we experience the ecstasy of auditing insanity. The mystery of Jose Chille DeCastro's latest lawsuit, which started as a defamation suit against fellow YouTuber Dale Lackluster Hiller, grew deeper on Tuesday as DeCastro made private both his scheduled lawsuit and produced video dedicated to why he was suing Hiller, Josh Accountability for All Abrams, and Kate Peter. DeCastro had originally announced his lawsuit against Hiller 2 weeks ago, after years of threatening to do so. Hiller had trashed DeCastro's reputation years ago, and there is legitimate bad blood on the part of DeCastro towards Hiller, who currently runs one of the most popular First Amendment auditing-related channels on YouTube. While threatening Hiller, reports have indicated that DeCastro has been increasingly frustrated with Hiller's continued success and such things as Hiller's Attorney Shield endorsement, a product similar to various products DeCastro has pitched over the years, but never carried through producing. The diminutive YouTuber explained in his announcement of the lawsuit against Hiller that the statute of limitations was running out quickly, and that he only had days to file his suit against Hiller before he was up against that limit. Hiller, reportedly, made his statements in 2022, during the same summer where the majority of the events from DeCastro's previous lawsuits against Kate Peter, Josh Abrams, Michael Bluebick Peratini, and others allegedly occurred. That year, DeCastro had exploded onto the auditing scene and had surpassed Glenn Serio as the #1 talked-about person in the First Amendment community. There were daily live streams providing critiques of DeCastro's latest videos, and whole communities formed around the shared goal of making fun of the YouTuber. DeCastro reacted badly to the new exposure and targeted Kate Peter and the idea that Peter was running a mass whole troll army to torment him and carry out various misdeeds against him based on her extremely popular Discord server. Fans would gather on Peter's Discord server and literally figure out where he was traveling as he live streamed, from the street signs and landmarks visible in his videos and live streams. DeCastro was tracked like a great white shark, not due to any tracking software or nefarious means, but through his own statements, videos, and trust of people who then leaked his information. The YouTuber's reactions, rage, and alleged fabrication of events to support his further attempts to get protective orders against Peter and Abrams only fueled his growing status as a laughingstock in the First Amendment community. The summer of 2022 ended with the start of a crackdown by DeCastro on coverage of his channel. After multiple failed attempts at getting a protection order to stop Kate Peters' coverage of him via unsuccessful attempts at protection orders against her and Josh Abrams, he sued both Peter and Abrams in a federal civil rights lawsuit based out of Massachusetts. He also went on a spree of filing YouTube copyright strikes against channels that used portions of his video productions. He briefly took down channels like Irish Demon and Dog Detective with unrelenting use of the copyright system. Part of YouTube's copyright rules indicate that the person who filed a strike against another channel for use of their material has a set amount of time to file an actual copyright lawsuit. If the person does not follow through with the lawsuit, the copyright strike is eventually released against the channel. This did not stop DeCastro from filing hundreds of strikes against creators such as Daniel Jones of the Wales-based Welsh News Network as recently as April of 2024, with varying degrees of success, as he never actually followed through with an international lawsuit. For the United States cases in 2022, he modified his federal civil rights lawsuit against Peter and Abrams and converted it into a copyright abuse lawsuit. He then included Google and dozens of John Doe creators who were never named, but could be used to fulfill YouTube's requirement of a lawsuit being filed within the time limits as a lawsuit existed. While that lawsuit was eventually dismissed in 2023, DeCastro took his original charges against Kate Peter and added Michael Blue Bacon Peratini, Team Skeptic, and superfan Daniel Clement has filed defamation charges against the foursome in California before the statute of limitations ran out in 2023. That lawsuit has lingered for the past 2 years and seems to be on the verge of a conclusion, as Peratini, the only active defendant in the lawsuit, has filed for terminating sanctions, and DeCastro himself recently filed to drop the lawsuit against Peratini with prejudice, as long as Peratini agreed to his demands. As that case was apparently coming to a conclusion, DeCastro announced his plans to sue Hiller. Unfortunately for the YouTuber, the statute of limitations to sue for defamation based on Hiller's 2022 comments in his most recent states of residence, California, a 1-year limit, and Nevada, a 2-year limit, have run out. There are few states where the statute of limitations for defamation runs for 3 years. Those states include Arkansas, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, New Mexico, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Wisconsin. In most states, the filing of those lawsuits in federal court must be done in person by the individual who is filing the lawsuit. While there were rumblings and rumors that DeCastro had filed the new civil rights lawsuit last week, no new listings have been found in either the PACER federal lawsuit tracking system. DeCastro had not left California during that time, and the states that he could easily drive to with 3-year statutes of limitations was limited to New Mexico. With the new addition of Kate Peter and Josh Abrams to the lawsuit, it appears he is attempting to revive a version of his old lawsuit against the pair and adding Hiller, who is based out of California, in order to get around California's 1-year statute of limitations on defamation by filing his lawsuit in one of the remaining states that has a 3-year statute of limitations. As of press time, there still are no new lawsuits listed in PACER filed by DeCastro. This would probably explain why he's scheduled and removed his live stream announcing the lawsuits and privated his video release with the same subject matter. DeCastro did not live stream on Tuesday after having technical issues Monday night. But no one should be surprised if he turns up in Arkansas, New Hampshire, New Mexico, Rhode Island, Vermont, Wisconsin, or Massachusetts when you next see him. This is a developing news story. Hours after our speculation that Jose Chille DeCastro would be filing suit against Dale Lackluster Hiller, Josh Accountability for All Abrams, and Kate Peter, in a state with a 3-year statute of limitations for defamation, DeCastro's lawsuit appeared in the PACER system as being filed in Boston. The lawsuit, filed in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts First District Court in Boston, alleges that on June 1st, 2022, Hiller, Peter, and Abrams appeared on a live stream hosted by Abrams. During the live stream, DeCastro alleges that defendant Abrams accused the trio of the following. Quote, he falsely alleged that plaintiff strangled someone. Abrams then stated that plaintiff went to a friend's house in New Hampshire, kicked his friend out, told him to go stay in a hotel, and then used the home to do drugs. Abrams claimed that the friend returned at 6 a.m., found drug paraphernalia scattered throughout the house, and then kicked plaintiff out. He also accused plaintiff of creating fake app screen designs, referred to as pillow poppers, in collaboration with his cousin, in order to fraudulently obtain a large investment from an investor. Abrams additionally accused plaintiff of blackmailing people. Abrams also accused plaintiff of using his credit card without permission to pay for a hotel room. Abrams also edited video footage of plaintiff's interaction with defendant Kate Peter in a misleading way. He removed critical context showing that defendant Peter stepped on the back of plaintiff's shoes, which caused plaintiff to lean backward defensively. Abrams presented a slowed-down version of plaintiff's reaction, making it appear aggressive. In the same video, Abrams stated, all I'm guilty of is pausing the video, downplaying the extent of the edits. This misleading presentation distorted the truth and contributed to the negative public perception of plaintiff. Defendant Hiller stated, "There are victims. There is proof of it. That's all I can say for now. Hopefully more will be revealed." Defendant Kate Peters stated, "He also employs blackmail and extortion and threats. A lot." And further alleged that plaintiff operates a Ponzi scheme. She described this supposed scheme as one in which plaintiff solicits funds from new investors to pay off previous investors, suggesting criminal fraud and financial deception. DeCastro is seeking the following. Wherefore, plaintiff respectfully requests that this court A. Award compensatory damages in the amount of $1 million, divided as $400,000 for reputational harm and loss of professional opportunity, $300,000 for emotional distress, and $300,000 for general damages related to public stigma and future earning loss. B. Award punitive damages for willful and malicious conduct. C. Award costs and pro se legal fees at $400 an hour for research, drafting, and filing. And D. Grant any additional relief the court deems just and proper. This is a breaking news story. Jose Chille DeCastro was upbeat and a bit threatening in his first live stream on Wednesday after filing his federal defamation lawsuit against Kate Peter, Josh Abrams, and Dale Lackluster Hiller. DeCastro was excited and used over-exaggerated fist pumps to show his appreciation to fans during the broadcast, as his fans showered him with super chat messages and gifted memberships. Clearly out of the brain fog that he said had hampered his ability to participate in his outstanding lawsuits over the past year, the excited DeCastro waved around a new motion he said had taken him 3 hours to produce, and promised that it would shock and surprise those it was aimed at. He further backed his stance as he claimed that he was proud of his new suit against Peter, Abrams, and Hiller, and that he met with a super lawyer in California who gave the lawsuit his seal of approval. DeCastro received compliments from YouTube personality Patrick J. Darcy on Wednesday, a bona fide lawyer, for tightening up his phrasing in the lawsuit, but also received harsh criticism from Darcy for missing key elements of the suit, jumps in logic, and formatting issues. The key flaw, pointed out by Darcy and other critics, comes in the fact that DeCastro alleges that the events happened in a live stream that aired on or about June 1st, 2022. The lawsuit was filed June 3rd, 2025, which is outside of the statute of limitations, if the events actually occurred on June 1st. While DeCastro may argue that he actually filed earlier and the paperwork took forever to show up in the system, the fact remains that if the defendants can prove that the statute of limitations has passed before the filing of the lawsuit is more than likely dead in the water. With the huge flaw exposed to the world, DeCastro avoided mentioning said flaw as he hyped his lawsuit. He warned that he had devastating material in video form that would expose Peter, Hiller, and Abrams' dirty laundry if they refused to immediately settle the case. DeCastro let his audience know that he was withholding the devastating material as he needed to follow the court's procedure to give the people a chance to settle before exposing them with his new video release. This statement apparently served as the reasoning as to why DeCastro scheduled and canceled a live stream explaining why he was suing the trio on Tuesday, along with releasing a video with a similar title to his main Delete Laws and Delete Laws Clips channel Tuesday night before making the video private. The YouTuber assured his fans that he would punish anyone who harmed him with lawsuits in the future. He also touted his fact that he won a unspecified lawsuit last year and had a ticket overturned in another legal action last year, indicating that his legal battles resulted in actual wins after years of losses. DeCastro again chose to ignore his ongoing legal battle with Michael Blue Bacon Peratini, with whom DeCastro is in settlement talks to end his ongoing California Superior Court lawsuit related to actions Peratini supposedly took as an alleged member of Kate Peters' masshole troll army. Peratini again indicated that he would not accept DeCastro's terms on Wednesday. The Washington State-based YouTuber added in a public comment on our own Really Cool Newswire Discord forum that DeCastro apparently threatened him with inclusion in the new lawsuit should he not accept DeCastro's demands to dismiss the case. Observers also noted that DeCastro has made no mention of his Constitution headquarters board game or the teaching sessions he promised he would be filming instead of anti-police live streams. Pre-sales for the game are no longer featured on DeCastro's main DeleteLaws.com page. A click through to the merchandise area reveals that while DeCastro does list the pre-sale on his merchandise page, the counter for sales of the game has been stuck at $9.99 since updating the listing to its new $89 price point last week. DeCastro has not provided updates on the financing meetings that he claimed he had set up to fund the $150,000 he needed to produce the first printing of the game. This continues the apparent decline in DeCastro's interest in the game, since his focus now seems to be making money off of his multiple federal lawsuits. On Wednesday, DeCastro provided an update to his newly filed federal lawsuit against Justice of the Peace Ann Zimmerman and others related to his conviction and acquittal of obstruction of an officer and interference in a traffic stop last year. He said he had paid $360 to a process server to serve all the defendants in the lawsuit, and all would be served next week. DeCastro then urged his fans to donate to his GoFundMe account, which he managed to pin to the top of his side chat in order to reimburse him for his expenses. DeCastro's promotion of the GoFundMe campaign brought much-needed attention to his crowdsourcing efforts. Wednesday's crowdsourcing results saw no new donations for DeCastro, as our own ongoing expenses campaign took the title for the day with a $360 donation. This was followed by Craig Hendry's To Support Craig's Work with a $20 donation. After DeCastro's efforts to promote his campaign Wednesday, he won Thursday's tally with donations totaling $40. These were the first donations to his campaign in nearly a week and a direct result of his mention on his livestream. Lane Myers took second for the day with a $25 donation. No other campaigns saw donations for the day. This is an ongoing news story. We need your help. Both ReallyCoolSite.org's daily newspaper and our daily newscasts are funded by your continuing donations and what we make from our YouTube AdSense revenue each month. If you'd like to contribute to help us keep the lights on, eating, feeding the cats, defending ourselves from lawsuit threats, and writing news stories to feature on both the newspaper and newscast each day, you can do so via a donation to our PayPal, Cash App, or GoFundMe accounts. If you can't afford to contribute, please watch our videos from beginning to end, like, share, subscribe, and comment. You can help by doing next to nothing, and we thank you in advance for pitching in.